Life has a strange way of teaching us lessons. Sometimes through joy, sometimes through pain, and often through the quiet struggles we keep locked inside. Many of us wear masks every single day. We smile when we are breaking. We say, "I'm fine," when our world is falling apart and we hide our wounds as if pretending they don't exist will make them disappear. But here's the truth. What we hide will never heal. In fact, the more we hide it, the deeper it festers. Think about it. If you have a wound on your hand and you cover it without cleaning it, what happens? It gets infected. It doesn't heal because you refuse to treat it. Our emotional wounds work exactly the same way. If we keep covering them with denial, with pretense, or with distractions, they will only grow more painful over time. Some people think hiding their struggles makes them strong. But real strength isn't in hiding. It's in opening up. Healing begins when we allow light to touch our darkness. When we find safe spaces, whether with a friend, a mentor, or through self-reflection, and we speak our truth. It's not weakness to admit you're hurting. It's courage. Because it takes bravery to be vulnerable in a world that often celebrates perfection over authenticity. Remember this, no matter how much you hide, pain has a way of leaking through your actions, your relationships, and your life choices. Healing doesn't happen overnight but it begins the moment you stop running from what hurts you. Face it, speak it, share it. Only then can you truly set yourself free. The greatest prison is the one built from secrets we never tell. But the moment we choose honesty with ourselves first, those prison walls start to crumble. And what lies beyond those walls? Peace, freedom, and a life no longer controlled by what we once hid. So today, let's not hide. Let's heal. Hiding emotional pain does not make it go away. It only deepens the wound. When we go through difficult situations in life, it's natural to want to avoid the discomfort of facing them. We might bury our feelings under work, entertainment, or distractions, thinking that if we just keep moving forward, the pain will fade on its own. But in reality, ignoring our emotions is like sweeping dust under the carpet. It might look clean for a while, but the mess is still there, growing bigger and harder to deal with. Unaddressed pain seeps into our thoughts, shapes our actions, and silently influences the way we see ourselves and the world. Over time, the weight of what we're hiding can lead to frustration, anger, or even hopelessness. Instead of disappearing, the pain quietly builds layers inside us until it feels overwhelming. The only way to truly free ourselves is to bring that pain into the light, acknowledge it, and allow ourselves to work through it. Only then can we release the heaviness we've been carrying and make space for genuine healing. Emotional wounds are like physical wounds. If left untreated, they worsen over time. When we get a cut or injury on our body, we instinctively know it needs care. We clean it, protect it, and give it time to heal. If we ignore it, the wound can get infected, causing far more pain and complications than the initial injury. The same principle applies to our inner hurts. Whether it's betrayal, loss, rejection, or disappointment. If we don't give them attention, they don't magically disappear. Instead, they silently grow deeper. Over the days, months, or even years, the unhealed emotions can turn into bitterness, mistrust, or a constant heaviness in the heart. We might start reacting strongly to small triggers, not realizing that our responses are fueled by untreated pain. Just like a physical injury demands proper care, emotional wounds require intentional steps. Self-reflection, expression, forgiveness, and sometimes guidance from others. The longer we delay this process, the more complicated our healing becomes, and the more it affects our relationships, decisions, and quality of life. Healing delayed is healing denied. Wearing a mask of strength while breaking inside delays the process of healing. Many of us have mastered the art of looking, to the outside world, smiling at friends, working hard, cracking jokes, and appearing confident, while inside we are silently struggling. We believe that showing pain will make us look weak or vulnerable, so we hide it behind a carefully crafted facade. But this constant performance drains our energy and forces us to live in two worlds. The one we show and the one we actually feel. Pretending to be fine might protect us from temporary judgment or questions, ours to be but it also keeps us from getting the support we truly need. The mask we wear becomes a wall, blocking genuine connections and preventing others from understanding our reality. Over time, carrying this double life can become exhausting, leading to emotional burnout, loneliness, and even physical stress. Healing can only begin when we dare to remove the mask, admit we are not okay, and allow ourselves to be seen as we truly are. It is in authenticity, not pretense, that true strength and recovery begin. True strength lies in vulnerability and the courage to be open about your struggles. Many people think strength means never showing weakness, keeping emotions hidden, and handling everything alone. But real strength is not about building walls. It's about having the bravery to open the door and let others see what's inside. It takes far more courage to say, "I'm hurting," than it does to pretend everything is fine. Vulnerability is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of honesty with yourself and the world. When you share your struggles with someone you trust, you invite understanding, compassion, and support into your life. This openness can inspire others too, because when they see you being real, it gives them permission to be real as well. Strength is not about suppressing tears. It's about letting them fall when they need to, and still choosing to move forward. It's about acknowledging that you're human, that you have limits, and that seeking help doesn't make you weak. In fact, it shows that you value yourself enough to heal, grow, and keep going despite the pain. Denial and pretense create emotional infection, leading to greater suffering. When we refuse to acknowledge what is truly hurting us, we might think we are protecting ourselves from pain, but in reality, we are only postponing it and making it worse. I just like leaving a physical wound untreated allows bacteria to grow in the. Ignoring emotional wounds allows bitterness, resentment, and fear to spread silently within us. We convince ourselves that if we don't talk about it, it will fade away. But the truth is, buried pain doesn't disappear. It simply waits for a moment to resurface, often in ways we don't expect. It might show up as sudden anger over small issues, a constant feeling of emptiness, or even a loss of motivation for things we once loved. Denial also prevents us from taking the necessary steps to heal. Because we cannot fix what we refuse to admit is broken. The longer we keep pretending, the more deeply the hurt takes root, making it harder to remove later. Facing the truth may be uncomfortable, but it's the only way to stop the quiet spread of emotional damage before it consumes more of our joy and peace. Safe spaces and trusted relationships are essential for emotional healing. No matter how strong or independent we believe we are not designed to carry the weight of life's struggles entirely alone. When we go through pain, we often fear that no one will understand us, or worse, that they will judge us. But finding people who truly listen without criticism can be one of the most powerful steps toward recovery. A safe space could be a friend who hears you without rushing to give advice, a family member who holds you when you cry, a mentor who guides you with wisdom, or even a support group where everyone shares their own journey. In such spaces, we can speak freely without the pressure of being okay. And this freedom itself can feel like the first layer of healing. Being heard validates our emotions and reminds us that we are not alone. Even when life feels overwhelming, trust acts like a bridge. It allows our pain to travel out of the shadows and into the light where it can finally be addressed. Without such connections, healing becomes slower and lonelier, but with them, it becomes a shared journey where hope feels possible again. Pain will always find a way to manifest if it is not addressed. We might believe that by ignoring what hurts us, we are protecting ourselves from the discomfort of dealing with it. But pain is persistent. It doesn't vanish simply because we turn our back on it. Instead, it looks for other doors to enter our lives. Sometimes it appears in our moods, snapping at people for no reason. Feeling irritable or sad without understanding why. Other times it seeps into our relationships, making it hard to trust, to open up, or to love without fear. Unresolved pain can even affect our physical health, showing up as fatigue, headaches, or constant tension in the body. It can silently influence the decisions we make, pushing us to avoid situations that remind us of our hurt, or causing us to settle for less than we deserve because we fear being hurt again. The truth is, the pain demands attention. If we don't face it directly, it will find indirect ways to disrupt our peace, our confidence, and our ability to fully live. Addressing it may feel uncomfortable, but allowing it to stay hidden only guarantees it will continue to shape our lives in ways we may not even notice until it's too late. Healing begins the moment we stop running from our hurt and face it honestly. For as long as we keep avoiding our pain, we remain stuck in a cycle where the same feelings keep chasing us no matter how far we try to go. We may bury ourselves in work, drown ourselves in distractions, or pretend to be happy for the sake of others. But deep down, the wound remains untouched. The turning point comes when we finally pause, take a deep breath, and admit to ourselves, yes, I am hurting. This act of acknowledgement is not weakness, it's the first step toward freedom. Facing pain means allowing ourselves to feel the emotions we've been suppressing, whether it's sadness, anger, or disappointment, without judgment. It means being honest about where we stand, what we've lost, and what we need to heal. When we confront our hurt directly, we stop giving it the power to control us from the shadows. Instead, we reclaim control by choosing to deal with it intentionally. That first step might be the hardest, but it is also the most liberating, because the moment we face our pain, we open the door for peace to slowly enter our lives again. Secrets create emotional prisons. Honesty breaks down those walls. When we keep our struggles locked away, it's as though we are building invisible bars around our hearts and minds. At first, it might feel safer. No one can hurt us with what they don't know. But over time, those walls don't protect us, they trap us. We find ourselves living in constant fear of being found out, worried that someone might see through our mask. This constant guarding of our pain drains our energy and prevents us from experiencing the deep, ours to be in the authentic connections that come from being real. Honesty, on the other hand, acts like a key. It unlocks the door and lets light into the dark corners of our lives. It doesn't mean we have to share every detail with everyone, but choosing to be truthful with ourselves and with a trusted person can release a burden we've carried for too long. That first conversation may feel terrifying, but it often leads to relief, understanding, and support. When we tear down the walls built from secrecy, we allow healing to flow in freely, and the freedom that follows feels lighter than we ever imagined. Freedom and peace come when we choose truth over hiding. Living with unspoken pain is like walking through life carrying a heavy, invisible backpack. You may get used to the weight, but it is always slowing you down. When we hide what we feel, we lock ourselves into a cycle of pretending, performing and protecting an image that isn't real. This constant act robs us of the joy of simply being ourselves. Choosing truth means deciding that we no longer want to live in the shadows of our own lives. It means acknowledging our struggles, expressing them in safe spaces, and allowing the world to see us as we truly are. Flawed, human, but still worthy of love and respect. The moment we stop hiding, we give ourselves permission to breathe deeply without fear of being exposed. With truth comes alignment. Our inner world and outer world finally match, and this creates a deep sense of peace. We stop wasting energy maintaining a mask and start using that energy to heal, to grow, and to live fully. In that honesty, freedom is born. Not just freedom from the pain, but freedom to live a life that feels light, open, and real. Pain will always find a way to manifest if it is not addressed. We may think that by ignoring what hurts us, we are protecting ourselves, but pain has a way of seeping through the cracks of our lives. Unresolved emotions don't disappear. They simply hide, waiting for the right moment to resurface. Sometimes they show up as sudden bursts of anger over small inconveniences. Other times they quietly drain our motivation, leaving us feeling tired and detached from things we once loved. This unspoken pain can damage relationships, making it harder to trust, to open up, or to show love freely. It can also impact our physical health, triggering stress, tension, and even illness over time. Our decisions too can be shaped by what we haven't healed, causing us to avoid opportunities, settle for less, or sabotage our own happiness. The truth is, unaddressed pain does not fade with time. It grows in silence, shaping who we are without our permission. Facing it may be uncomfortable, even frightening, but it is the only way to stop it from controlling us. By acknowledging it, we give ourselves the power to heal, to regain peace, and to truly move forward. Healing begins the moment we stop running from our hurt and face it honestly. As long as we keep avoiding our pain, it will follow us like a shadow that never leaves. We may distract ourselves with work, keep busy with social activities, or hide behind a constant smile, but these are only temporary escapes. Deep inside, the wound remains untouched, quietly shaping our emotions, choices, and relationships. Avoidance may feel safe in the short term because it spares us from reliving the hurt, yet in reality, it traps us in a cycle where we carry the same weight day after day. The real turning point happens when we stop pretending we are okay and allow ourselves to acknowledge what we truly feel. This means admitting to ourselves, yes, I'm in pain, without guilt or shame. It means allowing the emotions we've buried, anger, sadness, grief, disappointment, to come to the surface so they can be processed, not suppressed. Facing pain is an act of courage. It forces us to confront the reality we've been avoiding. When we look our pain in the eye, we strip it of its power to control us from the shadows. We begin to understand its roots, learn from it, and gradually loosen the grip it has on our life. This honest confrontation doesn't mean healing happens instantly. It rarely does, but it marks the first real step toward recovery, because healing is not possible without awareness. By embracing the truth of what we feel, we open the door for peace, clarity, and emotional freedom to slowly re-enter our lives. Secrets create emotional prisons. Honesty breaks down those walls. When we hide our pain, we think we are protecting ourselves from judgment, rejection, or misunderstanding. At first, it might even feel like the safest choice, keeping our struggles locked deep inside, away from the eyes and opinions of the world. But over time, the walls we build for protection turn into barriers that confine us. We start living in constant guard mode, afraid that someone might see through our mask, worried that if they knew the truth, they would see us differently. This constant self-protection is exhausting, draining our emotional energy day after day. Keeping secrets about our struggles also creates loneliness. Even when we are surrounded by people, we may laugh in public but cry in private. Never letting anyone truly see the real us. These hidden pains grow heavier over time, and the silence can make us feel as if no one could possibly understand us. In reality, it is often our fear of being misunderstood that keeps us isolated, not the actual reactions of others. Honesty, even with just one trusted person, can be life-changing. It's like finding a key to a locked room we've been trapped in for years. The moment we speak our truth, a weight begins to lift. The walls don't crumble all at once, but cracks begin to form, allowing light and fresh air to reach the places that have been in darkness for so long. Being honest doesn't mean telling everyone every detail of our pain. It means choosing authenticity over pretense in the spaces where it is safe to do so. It's about giving ourselves permission to be seen as we are without the pressure to appear perfect. This act of vulnerability can open the door to understanding, compassion, and genuine connection. And with every wall that comes down, we step closer to the freedom and peace that hiding could never give us. Freedom and peace come when we choose truth over hiding. Carrying unspoken pain is like walking through life with a heavy backpack that no one else can see. You may adapt to the weight, but it's always there, pulling you down, slowing your steps, and draining your energy. At first, hiding what we feel might seem like the easiest choice. It spares us from awkward conversations, shields us from the risk of judgment, and allows us to maintain an image that others find comfortable. But over time, that image becomes a cage. The gap between who we are on the inside and what we show on the outside grows wider. And living in that gap creates constant tension. Choosing truth means breaking that cycle. It's deciding to stop wearing the mask and allowing our inner and outer worlds to align. This choice is rarely easy. Truth often feels vulnerable and raw. But it is the only path that leads to genuine peace. When we speak honestly about our struggles, we stop wasting emotional energy on keeping secrets and start using that energy to heal. The relief of no longer pretending can be profound. You can finally take a deep breath without fearing exposure, because there's nothing left to hide. Truth also opens the door to deeper relationships. When we are honest, we invite others to connect with us on a real level, not just with the version we present. People can offer understanding, comfort, and guidance only when they know what we are truly going through. And surprisingly, our honesty often inspires others to share their own truths, creating a cycle of openness that benefits everyone involved. Living in truth doesn't mean we share everything with everyone. It means we choose not to hide behind false strength or forced perfection. It's about being real in the spaces where it's safe and being authentic enough to admit that we too are human. This shift from hiding to truth telling doesn't just lighten our emotional load, it transforms our entire life. In honesty, we find the freedom to live without fear, the clarity to see ourselves fully in and the peace that comes from knowing we no longer have to act like someone we're not. That's when life begins to feel open, light, and truly ours.